Okay, so on our graphic organizer, thank you. We'll take that off. So yesterday we talked about end behavior when A was positive. So for even degree, it was left, up, right, up. So now if it's an A is negative, so today we're going to have some negative A. So it's going to be left, down, right, down. What's the relationship between those two there? They're both down for the even negative, and for the even positive, they're both up. So what's a word we could say for the relationship from here to here? Opposite. Okay, so opposite here. The up goes to down and the up goes to down on both of them. Okay, so odd positive, what's our end behavior? Left, down, right, up. And then when it's negative, it's going to be left, up, right, down. So what's the relationship there? Opposite again. So you will not be able to use this table when we have the test on Tuesday. So you want to take a look at what those patterns are. And the patterns are, if you can remember one of them, then you take the opposite to find the other one. Questions on this before we go on to the next one? So today we're going to have some that have A's that are both positive and negative. Okay, so for example 1, what are my roots? 4, -1, and -4. So I love, Nick, how you just looked at that and got those answers. What are you doing in your head?
It's always opposite sign.
So he's taking the opposite of this -4, opposite of the 1, and opposite of the 4. You don't have to do that. Does this -2 affect the roots?
No.
No. If we were solving it, setting it equal to 0, what would we do with that -2? We divide it out. That's right. Then it go away. So what's our degree? 3. Because there are 3 x's. X times x times x gives us x to the 3rd. So that's a degree of 3. Questions on that? We have to have the right degree to be able to get the right end behavior. So what is my A? My A is what on this one? -2. So your A is that leading coefficient, so it would be the -2 there. So my A is negative. Is my degree even or odd? Odd. So odd degree, A is negative. What's my end behavior? Left, up, right, left, up, right, down. So you could right now, you just look at your table to know what that is. Left, up, right, down. Does that make sense? Yes. So we have, if we take x times x times x, that's x to the 3rd. I can't write on here. It's x to the 3rd. So then that's where we get our degree from. We just look at our x's. So I'm going to go ahead and graph these roots for -1, -4. And then I need to find my y-intercept. What do I do to find my y-intercept?
You multiply it all.
We set x equal to 0 to find our y-intercepts. So we have y equals -2 times 0 minus 4. Let me write that 0 again. Times 0 plus 1 times 0 plus 4. And so what does that give us? So feel free to use a calculator. What does that give us? 32. So my y-intercept is 0, 32. So my 32, if I go by ones, won't fit on here. So I'm going to go by increments of 4. So I'm going to start on the far left. Left is up, so I'm going to start up. Come down to this point. And then I'm going to have one curve between this one and the next root. And then my next root, I have one curve also, but I have to go up and through that y-intercept. And then through my last 0, and then down. My end behavior ends down. Questions on that? So what are my roots on number 2? Oh, this one, sorry, we're going to change this one to a +3. I'm just changing this for you. You won't have one where they're the same like that. I meant to make that a plus. So I'm just pretend that was a plus. So 3, -2, -3, -4, and 0. Where does the 0 come from? That's right. So this would be a 0. Questions on that? This just plain x here is going to give you 0 for one of your roots. So what's our degree? 5, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. So my degree is 5. So what is a on this one? A is the leading coefficient. It is 1. That's a +1. So my a is positive, and my degree is even or odd? 5 is odd. So we have an odd degree, and an a is positive. So what's my end behavior? Left down, right up. Questions on that? Because that seems to be, that's a key to drawing it, and it seems to be where some students are getting stuck. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and graph those points. Anybody know what the y-intercept is? How'd you know that, Leah? That's right. So if I were calculating it, I have 0, 0 minus 3, 0 plus 2, 0 plus 3, 0 plus 4. And so this 0 in the front makes everything 0. So if you don't need to compute that, you can look at that. That's great. So now I want to start with left down. So I'm going to start down here, and then I have one curve between this root and the next. And then I'm going to go down one curve between this root and the next. I'm going to go up one curve between this root and the next. Down one curve between this root and the next, and I end up. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go on to number 3. Anybody still looking at this here? Hey, number 3. What are my roots for number 3? Let's see. Alina, what are my roots? And so what would my degree be, Kylie? Yes, 4. Questions on how she got 4? Okay, what's A on this one? A is -1. So my A is negative, my degree is even or odd? Even. So even degree, A is negative. What's my end behavior? Left down, right down. Questions on that? Yeah, down, down. Okay, now we need to compute the y-intercept. I put 0 in for all my x's. And so what do I get for my y-intercept? Feel free to use a calculator. Good question. Yes, I put a negative there, but that, you're right, 1 would be even clearer. Yeah. It's going to be negative, what? 36. So 0, negative 36. And then I'm going to go by increments of, say, 6. So I'm going to start on the left. I'm going to start down. So on the far left point, I start down, and then I do one curve between this root and the next one. The next curve, I have to go down, but I have to go through my y-intercept. And then one curve up to the next root. One curve from this root to the next one, and then I end down. Any questions on that? Okay. Last one. What are my roots? Raphael. Good. And then what's the degree, Ashley? Yes. So is my A positive or negative, Allie? Yes, it's positive. The A is 3, so it's positive. So my A is positive. My degree is 2, which is even or odd? Even. So even degree, A is positive. What's my end behavior? left, left, up, right, up. And think about, this is like a quadratic when it's a degree of 2. So for the evens, when your degree there, which is even, if your A is positive, it's going to be facing up on both sides. So that's one way to help you remember the evens for A is positive and negative. And then to find our y-intercept, what do we get for our y-intercept, Apollo? Apollo, what's the y-intercept? That's correct. So I'm going to need to, on my y-axis, it's not going to fit, so I'm going to go increments of 4. So there's negative 24. And so I start with left up. Come down through the y-intercept. One curve between that and the next root, and then I end up. Questions? Okay. So go ahead and do the U try. Anybody still looking at this one here? Oh. All by yourself.
Yeah.
Looks great. Nice job labeling your y-intercept. Would you pass these out for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you.